So I'm not going to take more than 10 minutes, that's a promise. And I'm really happy to have dignitaries on the stage to also go through the presentation. So I'm going to quickly tell you what's going on globally is, we've almost doubled the number of students who are enrolled in different programs in education. At the same time, the number of institutions have also increased tremendously. On top of that, the kind of programs in terms of nature, as well as the number of programs have expanded exponentially right now. So we're talking about project-based learning, we're talking about programs which are across 2 or 3 different institutions. And also we had, sir from AICT, there are so many new policies that have come now, which is like you need to have an online grievance redressal system compulsory. Internship is compulsory, which means you need a digital record of all the students' internship data, and faculty assessments and so much more. And recently AICT has started a survey around smart campuses now. And what does it all results is in a lot of complexity, compliance and competition. And what institutions around the world do is they are leveraging technology, and as all the panels have been talking about technology being leveraged in all different spheres in education institutions. What in India most of the institutions have been traditionally doing is they've been using ERPs to manage records and transactions like student records, accounting, payroll, attendance, examinations, and it stops there. What it doesn't do is it doesn't really facilitate how students and faculty interact with each other, how students learn from each other, how we digitize workflows which go beyond just records and managing transactions, how these transactions or these workflows or other learning gets converted into analytics, and finally, how do people get to know what's going around in the campus? So we did, and how does this happen right now? It happens by using either emails, SMS, or people do it physically by going to each other and talking to each other, or we use a lot of, I'm sure every single campus would have students creating their own WhatsApp groups, because that's the only solution that they have right now to communicate with each other. That's where we did a survey, one of the top universities in the country, and we did it with about 1,000+ members. And what was the most critical requirements or the needs that the stakeholders had is having a digital platform where they can communicate, they can collaborate with each other, they get to do different activities together, they get to know what facilities are there, which institutions have invested in, and that's where we come in. So we've spent 6 years building this platform. We work with very limited institutions right now because our aim is to further expand the platform that we've been building. And what we provide you is a cross-platform technology, which is Android, iOS, web, all the 3 platforms, anywhere, anytime access with scalable cloud servers, so that you don't have to invest in any infrastructure. You don't need any technical know-how to set this up and start using it. So the platform has 4 different layers. It starts with your core database, which is your finance and all the records and transactions like I talked about, academic workflows, and LMS, which is attendance, examinations, other things, and digitization of workflows, which I'm going to talk very specifically today, and collaborations on top of it. So at the end of the day, we end up touching each and every single part of your campus, whether it's alumni or it's your career services and different parts of the institution. So right after the admission is taken care of, most of the time institutions don't interact with the students once they're admitted, before joining. So we provide the platform where you could actually start engaging with the students once they're admitted. I'm not talking about pre-admission engagement. This is post-admission. And a lot of students and parents have this first day anxieties. So how do you again use technology to make sure students and parents are comfortable in the first few days when they are in the campus, to a lot of academics, extracurriculars and other things which we work with. So I'll just skip this, the different kind of things which we do. I'm not going to talk too much about these. But today, what I specifically want to talk about is our Campus Help Center, which has been a rockstar feature, or I would say module, that we have implemented at different campuses. So what we do is we automate all different kind of workflows in your campus, whether they are requests, application, grievances, booking, clearances, all different kind of things. And how does it work? It's very simple. The stakeholders get to see different services that they should have access to, and there are customizable forms for each of those services. And once I click on them, and I raise a request, I can track my request. It allows you to have multiple work centers, I can track where is it, and it also has a chatting option, which means the administrators and other people can talk to each other quickly so that the experience is smoother and the interactions can happen right there, and there is an official record of all these activities right there. So administrators can manage all these services right here. They will have access to all different kind of services they can track. There's escalation, there are reports, all of these things available. And this is how I can take different action. So we digitize at present almost 1,000 plus different workflows in campuses, which spread across hostels, grievances, no dues, venues, IT, all of this. And today you do not feel the kind of experience which different stakeholders have to go through, because they have to use in-person, they have to go in person to get a lot of this work done, they have to use emails, follow-ups, so many things, and this can actually reduce all that friction that's there in the campus and truly empower your stakeholders, because in our personal lives, we're highly empowered by technology. We use Uber, we use Swiggy, we use Make My Trip, we use WhatsApp, so many. But when it comes to our campus experience, we are going back to the the systems which we were using almost 10 years back, and that's what we are here to change. So we work with some of the top brands in the country. We work with Manipal Group in Malaysia, Dubai, Jaipur, and their main campus. We work with UML Munjal, OP General Global University, some of the best institutions, and we spent a considerable amount of time also providing the technology consulting to them in terms of getting the platform adopted and not just providing the technology. So I'll just skip this. So essentially at the end of the day, what CollPoll will do is it will organize all different tools, whether they're informal, open source, or scattered across to a single platform, and what it results in a much better experience for your stakeholders. Student success, because they will get to focus on things which really matter, which is learning, research, other extracurricular activities. We save lakhs of rupees, which is we have scientifically sort of put reports on at different institutions. So for example, we automate the complete canteens in some of our institutions by saving a lot of money that goes in managing and maintaining them. And we also help you create a better brand with them, because when the things get done smart. So I wish I could have shown you a lot of emails that the CIOs and CTOs of the universities get when we solve some of these problems, because students are really frustrated a lot of times with the workflows in the campuses. Finally, we are the new digital technology stack that we're seeing institutions adopting, and we'll be very happy. And my colleague Chaitanya are here. We'll be happy to showcase more of this. All it takes is we'll open our phones and show you how it works. Please feel free to reach out to us. That's it. So thank you for your time, and I'm very happy.
Hemant,
I'll be happy to.
One question to you. Can you quickly tell us how CollPoll and you have worked on the anti-ragging and women safety measures? Just I'm interested in that.
Sure. So, all right. So what happens most of the time? So there are three parts to this, right? So first part to this problem is how convenient, first of all, is it for any student to immediately share if they're getting ragged? Do they need to go to a particular place first to tell I'm getting ragged? Or do I need to call and somebody needs to take the call for it? So what we did immediately is by providing a phone, solution on the app, I can immediately say I'm getting ragged. And which means that there is a record that somebody has raised the request that I'm getting ragged, which goes on record, so that the anti-ragging cell becomes responsible because there's a record. That today, 9th of August, let's say 3:10 p.m., there is a request being raised by a student that they need support. That's one. Second, immediately we can also have GPS and other things actually, so we can say, okay, the student's GPS location can come into it immediately. Where is the student right now? To provide the support. Second thing, today, most of the top stakeholders do not even know what is the data of, for example, coming to the women's safety, there was, I think, a Saksham report by the HR ministry. Most of the institutional owners didn't even know what is the status of, women's safety in their campuses. Are there even any issues of, harassment in the campus at all? And if you ask them, most of the time they will say, no, everything is fine. But what is the basis of what is fine is not there at all. So what our platform also does, which is second, is provide you a reports, analytics around how many of these issues are coming, have they been resolved, if they are getting resolved, the person who raised gets to submit a form of the satisfaction with the thing. So all this gets recorded and then analytics are provided to the top stakeholders. And plus, this also becomes that once all the stakeholders know that some system like this exists, people become more conscious because they know things will go on record. So it's not that if I have a good relationship with the registrar or vice chancellor and somebody complains to them, I'll go and settle it, because it's actually going on record. So things become far more transparent and accountability kicks in. Alright, thank you so much, and thank you to the dignitaries for staying back.